Hello, my witchlets. Today we are going to make a low-carb cheeseburger Stromboli. And you will need the items that are here on the table, sans the cat hair. We have cats, there's cat hair everywhere. So this is one small yellow onion diced. We're gonna need garlic because we always need garlic. These are kosher hamburger dill chips. So no sugar added. Dijon mustard. I'm using cheddar. You can use provolone, or you can use American, or Monterey Jack, or really whatever cheese you want. I'm just gonna use cheddar because I like cheddar. You need a pound of ground beef, no sugar ketchup. This is homemade ketchup. I actually don't remember if this is my no-mato ketchup or if this is tomato-based ketchup. But either way, it works. Almond flour and mozzarella. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to cook up our onions, garlic, and beef. That's what this is. And add a couple of add the like salt, pepper, and these, and get all that going. And then we're going to make the crust of the Stromboli, which is going to be made out of about 1.5 cups of mozzarella, the shredded mozzarella. You don't want to use fresh mozzarella because apparently fresh mozzarella is super fancy and it's like moist and wet and it's in a I have no idea because I'm not fancy and I don't see that anywhere ever. So you want to use the shredded stuff because it's dried and it will hold together better when you go to make your dough. And you will need, I think it's 2/3 of a cup, yes, of almond flour. So let's get reframed and get going on this project. Okay, so our butter is melted. You can use ghee, you can use duck fat if you want. I'm using butter because, let's say it all together, I'm not fancy. So you're gonna take your small onion and you're gonna cook it up in your fat of choice. And this is going to cook for about 3 to 5 minutes. Then you're going to add your garlic and let that get fragrant, which takes about a minute. And then you're going to add your ground beef and break it up and cook it until it is cooked all the way through. And that, that timing and such will vary for how long it's going to take. So, yes, we've got stuff going on here on the channel. I have several videos planned for you. Of course, one of them might actually end up getting filmed today. It depends on how long my one ingredient is going to last. Might be able to do it later. Just not as late as I was anticipating. So what you're looking for with these is you want them to get kind of translucent. This is medium-high heat, by the way. You want these to be kind of translucent. And I can either fast forward through this or I can just pause and come back when I'm ready to add the garlic. So my onions are getting nice and browned. I'm going to go ahead and add my 2 cloves of minced garlic, or as I like to say, enough garlic. And you're going to cook this for about a minute to let it get fragrant, which, I mean, it already is fragrant, but, Also, the recipe I'm using, which I'm going to link to in the description, is a British recipe. So those of you who may be watching this from across the pond, first of all, hi! Second of all, you'll have an easier time because you have ovens that actually do Celsius, Fahrenheit, and, fan and such, and I have to kind of guess my way through it. Alright, so next up, we're going to put in our ground beef. And we're going to break this apart, and this is going to cook until it is Getting it cooked through, browned, etc. The recipe says opaque, but I mean, it looks pretty opaque to me as it is. So I've never seen translucent beef, so I don't know what that means. But we're gonna break this apart and cook this up, and then when it's ready, I will be back and go over next steps. Okay, so we're back. We've got our opaque beef here with our onions and garlic. So to this, I'm going to add a tablespoon, no, seriously, of Dijon. And then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of ketchup. Oh, come on. Work with me. Okay. Judging from the color, I'd say this is the tomato-based ketchup, not the no-mato ketchup. It's all right. Alrighty, so the point is it doesn't have sugar in it. That's really what you're going for with the ketchups. Alright, so you're going to mix all of this really well and get all the flavors together. Let them get to know each other, mingle, have deep, intense relationships. Alright, and then what we're going to do is we're going to turn off the heat and we're going to move this off of that burner, and we're going to preheat the oven to 350. So for me, 400. And then from here, we're going to start working on the dough that this goes into. Okay, so we just got this out of the microwave. It is 1.5 cups of mozzarella, and you want to put it in there for 2 minutes to melt it, and then you're going to add your 2/3 cups almond flour, and you're going to mix this together to form a dough, a very cheesy dough. So this will take as long as it takes to mix it together. I seem to recall doing this, but I did it in a mixer, which a lot easier, but we'll do it by hand for today. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn this out onto parchment paper, or in my case I'm using a silicone baking mat, and you're going to roll it out between 2 pieces of parchment paper, or whatever you have handy, like a silicone baking mat, and then we will continue from there once we get everything mixed together and done the way we need to get it done. Okay, that's mixed, so we can turn this. Someday I will remember when a glass bowl comes out of a microwave, it's going to be hot on the bottom. Today is not that day. Okay, so we are back and we have a rolled out piece of cheese dough. So to this, we are going to add our beef mixture. Now, you want to add as much beef mixture as will fit. And you're going to go down the center here with it. and apparently make a mess. You don't want to overfill it because then it'll be like when you overfill a burrito and everything falls apart. And that's the best I can do on that analogy. So I have a little extra room here along this side. Clearly, I have no depth perception, but I think we've covered that. Yay! Yay for making a mess. Okay. There we go. There's just a little bit left in here, and that's fine. All right. So now what you're going to do is you're going to make diagonal cuts on the side and start wrapping. Well, actually, no, you're not going to wrap it. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to add your pickles and your cheese. And then you're going to add your, you're going to do your fancy wrapping thing. This is why I don't do fancy things. I just want to eat. I'm very hungry. This is lunch. Okay, so your half cup of pickles, and then you need 4 slices of whatever cheese you've decided to go with. In this case, cheddar. There we go. And I'm gonna go ahead and make the slices. You don't need to watch that. You're smart, you know how to do it. But I will come back and show you how to wrap it. Okay, so you wanna make sure that you have the same number, or at least a very, very close number of slices on each side. They should be about 1 inch apart and stay within ½ an inch of your filling. Then you're gonna start by folding these up to seal it. My dough is drying out here, or cooling off, I should say. And then you're just gonna do a lattice up through the slices in your dough. And that's really all there is to this. Then you're gonna stick it in your oven, your preheated oven. If it tears, it's okay. Again, say it with me, we're not fancy. This is the fanciest thing I have made thus far. This is why I don't do fancy. Because I tear things off. Okay, and that is your Stromboli. So I'm going to slide this onto a baking sheet, the silicone mat and everything onto a baking sheet. I'm going to put it in the oven for approximately 20 to 25 minutes. Voila. And we'll go from there. And here we are, the final product. You can see that it's got a nice brown color to it here around the edges, which is what you're looking for. I mean, I probably could have left it in for another maybe 2 minutes or so just to get the top parts here browned, but I'm actually satisfied with how this looks. So this right here, you can do in 4 servings for like an actual meal of it, or you can divide it into 8s and make it kind of like a snack or a side dish to something else that you're having. And that's pretty much it. I have no idea how it tastes. Hopefully it tastes good, because I'm hungry and this is lunch. Although Cameraman Ken, during the downtime of while this was in the oven, whipped up some mushrooms with some truffle oil, and that was amazing. We used, he used goat's milk butter that we got from Imperfect Produce. So if you haven't checked out Imperfect Produce, they're not sponsoring me. They don't even really know I exist, other than, you know, we order stuff, but it's actually through Cameraman Ken's name, so no, they don't really know I exist. But if you haven't checked them out, do check them out, because they are doing a lot of sustainable resources and trying to eliminate food waste. And plus, it's delivery, which means you don't have to go out and deal with people not wearing masks. Anyway, wash your damn hands and wear your damn mask. And anyway, they have a lot of interesting products that you can try that you might not be able to find in a grocery store, like goat's milk butter. I know that in our produce box this week, Cameraman Ken ordered some trout, and I don't think I've ever had trout. So it's gonna be a unique experience for me, because I don't even know if I like trout. So hey, it'll be interesting. But they do have a lot of different things and a lot of variety, so I just recommend them, and that's just me recommending them. Like I said, they're not associated with me at all. Don't even know I exist. So that's the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let me know if you end up making this. I'd love to hear about your results. We'll see you next time.